Hello and welcome to another GIS report with Health in Perspective. Reporting for the Ministry of Health and Social Development, I am Public Health Communications Specialist Natasha Letzam. As we continue to respond to Zika, we have a very interesting show for you today. We're going to be here with two members from Team Project Bugout. We have with us the chairman, Mr. Jonathan Oakes, and one of its directors, Mr. Mr Wheatley. And their goal here today is to inform the community about what they're doing on Virgin Gorda and to see how we over here and the rest of the BVI can benefit from some of the strategies and stuff they've implemented. So we have a great show for you today. I invite you to sit back, relax, enjoy, learn, and see what role you can play as we all seek to prevent any further spread of Zika within the territory. We'll return and we'll get started right after this commercial break. Understanding the mosquito. The Aedes mosquito transmits Zika virus. It lives inside and around houses and reproduces in any object containing still water. The incubation of the mosquito requires 7 to 10 days, and once born, the insect can live for up to 6 weeks. Aedes mosquitoes lay their eggs every 3 or 4 days. A female may lay as many as 400 eggs over her lifetime. The eggs can resist drought conditions for over a year and then evolve into mosquitoes when in contact with water. The times of day when mosquito is most active and the risk of bites greatest are early morning and at dusk. No mosquitoes, no bites, no disease. Mosquito control is all of our business. Let's make it personal. A message from the Ministry of Health, Government of the Virgin Islands. Welcome back to this GIS report. Today we feature Project Bugout. With us right now we have Mr. Jonathan Oakes, one of two interviewees here on the program. Mr. Oakes, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Natasha. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem at all. Tell us a bit about Project Bugout and your role.
Yes, so I'm the project chairman, and our effort is really to reduce mosquitoes so that we don't have mosquito-borne disease on Virgin Gorda.
Now, how did this group come about and what exactly do you plan to achieve?
Yes, we came about as a collection of concerned citizens on the public and private side, and our goal is to achieve maximum eradication of the Aedes aegypti mosquitoes.
Why Virgin Gorda?
Because it's where we live. It's also an industry that's 100% tourism driven, so there's a very big threat from mosquito-borne diseases.
Now, as a project, as a group, what have you done so far within the community?
We've been very active in 2016. We've had over 50 public engagements at workplaces, town hall meetings, churches, and schools. We've had 9 community cleanups where we get between 75 and 100 volunteers and clean up mosquito breeding sites from the island. We've also had a tremendous amount of collaboration from the BVI government, vector control and environmental health divisions, and international advisors who are experts in mosquito control and vector control.
Wow, when you're looking at 75 to 100 persons joining your cleanup, and you've had 9 cleanups so far, how did you mobilize the community with such a great response?
It's a great question. It was not easy at first. We had to build momentum, but the main method that we used was to get out in the community and talk, meet with people, and explain the importance of coming together for this initiative.
Now, what are some of the tactics you're using so far? Right now, we're in response mode when it comes to Zika, as we have several confirmed cases, and right now what government is trying to do is mobilize the community response, similar to what you're doing now. And I guess what we want to know is some tips for how we too, not only Virgin Gorda, but Tortola, Just Van Dyke, and Igata, can participate in similar activities to eradicate mosquitoes.
Absolutely. Before I answer it, Natasha, first I want to say that what we're doing on Virgin Gorda is really meant to be a model, and we hope that other communities will learn some of the lessons that we've learned and follow in our footsteps. While we can't attack the entire BVI with our project, we do share openly all of our experiences and lessons. In terms of some of the strategies, I think the most important thing is to engage in partnerships, to find the Rotary Club and Rotaract clubs, the Lions Club and various church and community organizations, and speak to their leadership and their audiences so that the burden doesn't rest entirely on one person or a handful of people's shoulders. It really spreads rapidly throughout the community.
Awesome. Now, in terms of, you mentioned some of the partnerships you've had. You mentioned partnerships. I know you have an ongoing partnership with the Environmental Health Department, and you're in the process of getting some persons trained. Talk to us a little about that, and how do you see that training benefiting your group?
Excellent. As we speak, people are in training. Today is a very important day. What we realized with environmental health is that there's a tremendous wealth of knowledge and experience, but resources always have an end to them. So by learning from environmental health and working closely with Mr. Israel, we've understood what resources we can provide to Virgin Gorda that perhaps are not there currently. Yet all of the training and the knowledge comes directly from environmental health. So we're really just playing a supportive role in our own community.
Awesome. Now, I know that one of the reasons why Virgin Gorda is so hot when it comes to mosquito has a lot to do with its natural infrastructure, the boulders. What, or if anything, have you found to remedy those sorts of issues that you see, like the water accumulating in the boulders, and other naturally structural issues that promote mosquito breeding over there?
Yes. Well, the natural features do pose a significant challenge. We have found some control technology that's very safe and environmentally sensitive, and we've deployed that in the boulders. It's larvicide, it has no collateral damage, and the application methods are very non-invasive. But before even attacking those natural breeding sites, we found 10 times as many man-made breeding sites, which were far easier to solve. I'm a believer in low-hanging fruit first. So we believe that we can lower populations by 50, 60, even 70% by just going after the man-made breeding sites first.
And what are some of those that you came across in Virgin Gorda?
Sure. They come in small, medium, and large size, as most things do. Small are bottle caps and cans and bottles. Those make a difference. A tablespoon of water can generate 200 mosquitoes a day. So the community cleanups really help with the small stuff. The medium things, car tires, appliances, things that might be able to be moved by 2 or 3 men, those we need to create a priority list and help pinpoint and then share that list with solid waste or waste management and have them come in and help. But rather than those reports coming in one by one from across the island, we really serve to organize, consolidate, and then direct report and collaborate with those divisions. The large items are the most difficult. We're talking about abandoned wells, abandoned construction sites with exposed or unsealed cisterns, and natural sites like the boulders. Those we really look to a lot of our advisors to help us with creative technologies on how to approach them. So we look internationally for some advice on that.
Nice. Now, in terms of the community response, do you see that the people on Virgin Gorda are taking more pride in inspecting their properties, doing these weekly inspections, and doing their part to help reduce the risk on their own properties?
Yes, I see a tremendous amount of response and improvement. I wish I could say that we had 100% participation and improvement at this point, but so far in 2016 we've been proceeding on a voluntary basis, and as we all know, you only get so many volunteers. The next phase of Project Bugout is mobilizing a private vector control team to work in collaboration with environmental health vector control team. That's the training that's going on today. And those officers will be going house to house throughout Virgin Gorda. So we'll actually be touching every single residence. And we'll go from just touching the volunteers to now touching everyone. And I think participation will skyrocket at that point.
Awesome. Now, is there an expiry date on this project?
We had to put a timeline to get it started and to understand what commitments were needed. So we put a 3-year term on it. So that is 2016, 17, and 18. I don't believe it will stop in 2018. I believe that we will have such a tremendous success that we'll have no choice but to continue the program.
Awesome. Mr. Oaks, I leave you with this final opportunity to make any final remarks.
I really think it's an amazing effort to see the Virgin Gorda community come together and to see the various divisions of the BVI government come together and support us in supporting them. It's great. It does require a lot of work, and I think the more that communities can come together by committee and establish 2 or 3 or 5 or 6 individuals to keep the momentum going, the more success that they'll have.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure. Thanks, Natasha.
Okay, so here's the 411 on Zika virus, dengue fever, and chikungunya. For those of you who may not know, it's the same fight. The same mosquito, the Aedes aegypti mosquito, can give you Zika, dengue fever, and chikungunya. There is no vaccine or treatment for these viruses, so your best defense is a great offense. Protect yourself at all costs. Start with ensuring that you are not breeding mosquitoes by conducting weekly inspections of your property to identify potential breeding sites. Avoid being bitten by mosquitoes, period. Wear long and loose clothing and use mosquito repellent products. No mosquitoes, no bites, no disease. Mosquito control is all of our business. Let's make it personal. A message from the Ministry of Health, Government of the Virgin Islands. We're here with Mr. Wheatley, Mr. Vincent Wheatley here, who is also a part of this interview as we speak about Project Bugout. Mr. Wheatley, thank you and welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, Natasha.
Now, to get us started, tell us what exactly is your role as a part of this team?
In Bugout, I'm one of the directors on the board.
Okay.
Part of the steering committee for Bugout.
Okay. Now, we have been hearing a lot about Bugout recently. Talk to us a bit about what you guys have been doing so far.
Well, so far, Bugout is a model that we're trying to develop, and a model that we hope can be duplicated in other parts of the territory. So far, we've done community meetings. We've met with church groups, as well as businesses, individuals. We've done schools, and we've done several cleanup campaigns so far.
Now, what was your tactic behind mobilizing the community?
Well, Zika was eminent in the BVI. It hasn't been found in Virgin Gorda so far. And we want to make sure that Virgin Gorda remains Zika-free, chikungunya-free, and dengue-free going into the future.
Now, how has the response been so far from the community?
So far, it has been a tremendous good response from the community. I think they understand what we are trying to do, and they understand that what we do benefits everyone in the community.
I know in order to get such a project, off the ground, I know you would have had to have some sort of partnership. Speak a bit about your partnership.
Yes, absolutely. Bugout could not happen by itself. We had to seriously partner with government. It's a perfect public-private partnership. We communicate with several government departments to make sure we are in tandem with government. We're not there by ourselves. So we partner with agencies like Solid Waste, Public Works, Environmental Health, Tourist Board, Community College, and the list can go on.
Now, how are you working with Tourist Board?
When it comes to cleanup campaigns, we have to have PR work done. We need resources like gloves, sometimes pickers and so forth. Whatever they can do for us in terms of the PR work, in terms of whatever resources they have available, they happily give it to us.
How are you working with solid waste?
Derelict vehicles and heavy things that we can't move. As we go through the community, we meet several things. Some are very small, we can put in a garbage bag, whether to throw away or to recycle, because we do recycling during our cleanup campaigns. But some are a bit bulky and need to be carted away by heavy equipment. Solid Waste has been a tremendous partner with us in moving, whether it be tires or old washing machines, refrigerators, boats, derelict vehicles, whatever we find out that we can move, Solid Waste, they're a perfect partner with that.
Awesome. And how about environmental health?
Environmental health, we have to work very close with them because, again, we aren't duplicating anything that they're doing. So we want to see what they are doing. We want to make sure we are following their guidelines, government standards and procedures. And they've been, Mr. Israel has been a tremendous help in terms of working with the team, sharing his expertise, his experience over the past 15 years, and all those the various things they use, whether it be the BTI dunks or pesticides or larvicides. It's been a tremendous help. And whatever we do and whatever we discover, we also share with vector control, environmental health, and all the other agencies. So we know what they're doing, they know what we are doing.
Well, so far so good. It sounds like you're definitely gaining a lot of traction. How successful, from your vantage point, do you think you are right now?
I think we've been very, very successful. We've been only around around 8 months, But already the name Bugout is well known in the BVI. When we have cleanup campaigns or we call town meetings, people actually show up, or they call, they take pictures, they put it on Facebook for us, they advertise events for us. It's been a very good turnout. We had our last cleanup campaign just on Saturday. We had probably 60 volunteers from churches, from schools, from businesses. So it is a relatively new organization in terms of being active on the ground. And the support has been very, very encouraging. Very, very encouraging.
And what lessons have you learned?
We have learned that to keep these islands clean is everyone's business, but you have to be continuously on it. It's not a one-off. You can't do cleanup campaigns once a year or twice a year, because we are moving towards behavioral change. We want persons to eventually just stop littering, period, and to engage in recycling. It starts from the homes, the businesses, and moving forward. We want to see a clean and Zika-free British Virgin Islands, particularly Virgin Gorda, You know, Virgin Gorda, tourism is our main industry, and with the hotels closed and so forth, if tourists then stop coming because there's Zika around, the economy is just totally destroyed. So we want to make sure it's a fully tourist island. We want to make sure we keep it Zika-free and every mosquito-borne disease illness free. The economy is heavily dependent on tourism, and we all must play our part keeping Virgin Gorda clean. That's Bugout's main mission, mosquito eradication, control towards eradication.
Now, I love that message, because that's one of the key messages that we are sending as the Ministry of Health as well, in terms of eliminating mosquito breeding sites, eliminating the risk. And one way to do so, like you say, is for everybody to play their part, to do their surveillance, to make sure their yards are clean, their businesses around where they live and play. But now tell me what tips, you know, because we're so excited for the work that you guys are doing, and we want to duplicate it down here in Tortola and other parts of the Virgin Islands. What tips can you share with us to help us to inspire the community to jump on board the way Virgin Gordans have jumped on board, so that we could get this thing mobilized?
Like I said earlier, Bugout is kind of an experimental model that we have. So we have learned some lessons, and one of the first lessons we've learned, engage the community. Go into the community, let the community know what you are trying to do. Let them know what the end result is going to be, how it affects them, what role they can play. You must have the community's buy-in. They must understand what you're doing. So our whole plan, before we did any kind of cleanup campaign, we called town meetings, introduce ourselves. We had a Bugout team. This is our mission. You're going to be seeing us around, picking up garbage. Please support us. You can give us garbage bags or water or volunteers. So you first have to engage the community. Government has to be part of what you're doing also, because we can't do it by ourselves and government can't do it on its own. So that partnership is so strategic. It was so important for us. So we have several meetings with the government, environmental health, health services authority, tourist board, solid waste, public works department. All these guys, we met with them. Guys, what we are trying to do, because we found they're trying to do the very same thing. We have a common goal. Let's get together. Let's join teams and resources, each other's resources, and work together towards a common goal: mosquito eradication. It's simply a must.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wheatley.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for tuning into this program today, where we met with some of the key personnel from Project Bugout, and we learned a lot about what's going on in Virgin Gorda and what we as a community can do once we all pull together. I invite you to log on to bugoutbvi.org to learn more about what's going on with the team and how you can participate. Reporting for the Ministry of Health and Social Development, I am Public Health Communications Specialist Natasha Letson. Thank you for tuning in.